Welcome back to another episode of NewOrleans.Football presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from our studio up here on Vets, right upstairs from Matt Bauer's pre-owned dealership. Make sure you come check out Matt here. Check him out next door at the Ford dealership. Stop anywhere on this road. There's a dealership that Matt owns. He's got them all over the place. Make sure you check him out. You'll get the best cars, best customer care, the best prices, best car buying experience. That money can't buy that, but he'll give you that while you go there to spend your money, and you will spend your money and feel good about it because Matt will take care of you. Tell him we sent you, and he'll get you right. All right, our first topic today is presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey, and they also got the Chilton County Peach. Make sure you go check that out. Look for the red bottle. Look for the orange bottle. Really, just look for the Gator, and you'll get a good drinking experience. Our first topic, though, is Tyler Shough. Every conversation, I think, is going to start with Tyler Shough at this point. He's looking really good out at these practices. I think it was the best practice that he's had to date. We've only seen 3 of them, but I think it was eye-opening a little bit. The buzz you're hearing behind the scenes about what he's doing in these practices, the ones we are not. I guess there was a red zone period. Heard from a couple of guys that were out on the field that he just tore it up out there during that practice, really built some confidence. I think in one period he threw 4 passes in the red zone, had 3 touchdowns, I heard. Looked really, really good in this practice that we weren't at. What do we need to see, to call it? At what point would you say in camp, it's August 7th, it's August 14th, it's September 2nd, it's July 30th, whatever the date, what kind of progress would you need to see to say, all right, man, they need to just give him all the first team reps. Just, he needs to work with these guys. He needs to get his timing down. Forget the battle. It's done. This is the guy you're going with. What are the signs of evidence you would need to make that call?
Well, it's funny because when this question was first presented, my first thought was automatically going to be to say consistency. We see it weeks in a row, if we see it multiple preseason games in a row. But then I decided that was kind of a BS answer because I don't even need to see consistency. I just need to see the high upside potential that this guy is worth investing everything into. And I actually don't care if he's inconsistent during his rookie year, as long as he's worth going through the roller coaster ride with. So I think the answer is, if they see that this might be the guy, then they should just go ahead and invest everything, including time and patience and all of that. I'm going to flip the question. I think there's only 2 reasons not to give it to him. One is that Rattler is just so good that it's undeniable. I mean, you got 90 guys in that locker room. You want to show fairness. You don't want to be like, there's nothing you can do to win that job. If it was kind of like that way with Jameis versus Taysom. I mean, you couldn't watch that battle and say Jameis didn't deserve the first chance to be the starting quarterback. So if Rattler is so much better, you got to be fair to Rattler. Or 2 is, if you want to be careful with Tyler Shough's development and you want to start Rattler because, we see that all the time with rookie quarterbacks. Like I said, we saw Drake May wait behind Jacoby Brissett. We see that a lot of times just because it's the smart way to develop a quarterback. But I think those are the only 2 reasons not to use this year to make him all that much better in 2026 so he can be the one hitting the ground running next year.
I really like that answer. It's a real good answer. Yeah, I mean, if you see the upside with Tyler Shough, you just go with it. You run with it, and that is a really good answer because consistency. You're right. You have to be willing to ride the wave with the young quarterback. And if you're trying to determine this on consistency, or we're going to bench him because he had a bad game, either one of these guys, if you choose to go with Rattler, it can't be, hey, there's some inconsistency here, let's go to Shough. If you decide to go with Shough, it can't be the inverse of that. I don't know what I would need to see to go all in with him. I just think we'll know it when we know it. And it's just going to be one of those things where it's just stop. Just stop doing this. And I think it's just going to be some practices stacked together. You see him look good, and you can't erase the investment from the conversation, though, because they're telling you this is the guy they want to do it. And if there's something that supports the decision to draft him, I think once you see that as the coaching staff, you just have to trust your instincts at that point. And you saw it in him. You saw it in him enough to bring him into the building. You're drafting him at 40th. Your effort is there to replace Spencer Rattler. As soon as he gives you reason to trust that instinct, I think you just go for it. So I think you nailed it. As soon as it's there, just chase it and go all in on it, because really nothing is more important than Tyler Shough's development. Yeah. Everything you do should be about that. As soon as he shows you it's worth it. But I don't I don't think I want to see this go on throughout the preseason. I want them to be able to call it beforehand. I don't want it to be premature or anything, but I don't think that you need to run this like elongated back and forth process. Like as soon as you see it and you feel it, I think it's okay to lean into a guy. Now it's okay for him to lose it at some point during camp too, but I don't need to see the back and forth all the way. And then like, who's the starter? Oh, we're going to announce it on September 5th. Like I don't need to see that.
But I think that'd be more frustrating for us. As analysts, as certainly fans, as viewers, then like, I mean, I try to think of comps. I just looked up Andy Dalton started right away. I don't remember his situation as like about the 40th pick. Derek Carr started right away, but that wasn't the plan. They had, I think, Matt Schaub there, and he got hurt in training camp. And I think Matt Flynn also got hurt in that training camp. I could be confusing my years, but there was definitely a veteran they planned to start, but they went with Derek Carr because the veteran got hurt. We've seen like absolute studs. Jalen Hurts did not start until late his rookie season, and he was dabbling. Lamar Jackson didn't start till late his rookie season and dabbling. I don't think there's this is the way you have to do it for him to succeed, and this is the way you don't have to do it for him to succeed. So I don't even know that there's a blueprint that you're supposed to follow here, but just the state of the team, don't set him up for failure. But seriously, give him every chance to develop. And the other thing that I think is different, I've mentioned this a couple times before, than like a Drake May. Patriots didn't want to put Drake May out there last year because I think they had the worst offensive line in the NFL, and he could have gotten hurt. He certainly couldn't have. It was setting him up for failure to put him out there behind a bad offensive line. I don't worry about that with Shough or Rattler. I think either one of them should, like, this offensive line should be a huge advantage for a young quarterback. I like their running back room. They have a couple of receivers they should be able to throw to. I don't think there's any excuse built in, like, not to throw them out there. I don't think you're setting them up for failure if you throw them out there, not with the offensive line that we're pretty optimistic about.
I think there is a lot of value in leading into one guy as soon as possible, though, because you can go back and forth or whatever, but, like, you're cutting down serious opportunity to develop timing with guys. Like last year in camp, Derek Carr threw 267 passes total. If you're rotating, you're down to 130 passes with the first team if you're the starting quarterback. Out of those passes, he threw 59 to Chris Olave. If you're cutting that time in half, you're throwing 30 passes to Chris Olave in camp in a live setting. That's half the work. I mean, and the number overall isn't a lot. Rashid Shaheed missed some time last year in camp. Carr ended up throwing 18 passes total to him in camp. Let's say someone misses a little bit of time, and now you're rotating through. Like your wide receiver 2 could maybe get 7-8 passes from your starting quarterback in camp because you're going back and forth because you're playing out a battle. So I just think if they believe in either, and it doesn't matter who it is, if it's Shough or if it's Rattler, I think you wait a little bit longer to call it if it's Rattler because you did draft somebody with the 40th pick. But if it's Shough, like I think if you see it, you call it quick and you just go all in with it because like that timing aspect really matters, and you really are cutting down on his ability to succeed in week one. I think if you got him throwing half of his passes to Mason Tipton or Dante Pettis, like someone that isn't going to be one of the top 3 guys, but like if you could go out there and you tell me he gets 60 passes to Olave, 60 to Rashid, and then like whoever else. I feel a lot better about that than 30, 15, 10, 12. Like, I think I got it right here. He threw 35 passes to Alvin last year in camp, 19 to Foster Moreau. Those just aren't big numbers. Juwan Johnson missed time last year in camp. Like
he missed most of camp.
Yeah, like so if he's out there and then you're rotating days, like you might throw 3 passes to him in a competitive period, like if somebody's battling an injury. Like there is if you can just get into it quick, like I think you just get into it, you hit it, you go, and just believe in it. Like you just have to have the confidence. I think they will too.
I was just gonna say the opposite. I'd be shocked if they're not still rotating first team reps into at least the first preseason game, if not the second.
But I don't think it goes all the way. Like
maybe they each get to start
good,
a preseason game, and then after the second preseason game, it's time to call it, or is that too late?
I don't even think I do that. I don't just run a battle for the optics of it. Like a charade of protecting feelings or whatever. Like that to me is just like no, don't do that. Yeah. Don't go into the season and name one guy the backup quarterback and the other guy's actually the backup quarterback because you're trying to manage feelings and egos and all that stuff. Like, no, just manage the team, get the team in the best position to succeed. I feel like everything we've seen from these guys like says that they're just gonna do what they want to do to win. They aren't gonna sign local players to win fan cheer. Like they're just doing whatever they need to do to try to win. I think, and I think calling that thing quicker. Like, what's the downside if Tyler Shough has won this battle? Like,
well, okay, no, that's okay. That's the answer to the question because you just said manage the team, set the team up for the best success, but there's. The whole reason we're having this conversation is there is a whole separate what's best for Tyler Shough. If Tyler Shough is outperforming Spencer Rattler, then this is an easy conversation. Go with the rookie. But what if Spencer Rattler like he did on the first day of practice, looks like the guy who's a year ahead of him? Like you don't want to call it and be like Spencer Rattler looks better on July 27th. Like I predict Rattler will probably look a little more polished for a while.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying if Shough wins, if Shuck's winning this, you don't have to give Rattler start too just because true. Rattler nobody deserves shit. Like you.
But the question is, what if Rattler is still looking like the better guy? Then you do want the competition to stay open.
If Spencer wins it, I'm saying if like Shough wins this, I don't think they do the charade of like we have to both give him one. We have to evaluate. No, like just worry about the timing. Worry about. Like if you can get Shough in 2 games with Olave, you get him another series. Like there's a lot of value in that, more so than like, well, like man, Spencer might be upset. Or if Tyler loses, it's the flip side too. Like if Spencer's running away with this and Tyler does not look ready, I don't need to see Tyler Shough get a series with the starters just because like he's owed it through like some weird. Nobody's owed anything. Like I think you owe the whole team. Like if Rattler's winning it, if Shuck's winning it, like just pick one, like, and if you can do it early, do it early. But again, I think it goes longer with Shough. If he's losing, I think they give him more benefit of the doubt. But like, I think everybody should be like adhered to the same standard. Like if he's burying him, if Rattler is burying him, just let him start the games and go try to do the best thing for your team to win at that point, and let Shough earn his way there. Like if he doesn't earn a start, he doesn't earn a start. If Rattler doesn't earn one, he doesn't earn one. But like, If Shough has this thing won, if he's leading, they're rotating, they go into the first preseason game, he kills it in the preseason game, give him the second one.
Yeah. That I agree with that. If Rattler's burying Shough, quote unquote, or looking better than Shough in the first game, then I'm a little more torn. I kind of want, give Shough, like give him a chance. The preseason might be his only chance to develop. If that's the case. But yeah, if Shough is already like dominating the competition by week 1 of the preseason, then I think you can be like, all right, we need to give Shough every start in the preseason, get him ready for week 1.
The scenarios I'm talking about is like where it's like obvious one guy's pulling off on the other. Like if Shuck's at like 14 interceptions in camp and like, you know what I mean? Like he looks like Garrett Grayson or something out there, which he won't.
Then you can say,
then it's just like, like, no,
let's get Rattler ready.
Just give Rattler, yes.
That would be a disastrous result, though.
It's not going to happen.
And I don't think it's going to happen.
I think Shuck's going to win this. Like his momentum is early. I feel like as we watch these practices, I feel like we're seeing Shough perform at a way earlier level than anyone else. Like we have not seen any of these young quarterbacks come in here year 1 in mini camp where it's like, man, oh my God, like he has some moments. Now I think there's going to be like ups and downs and everything, but I think we're seeing it earlier with him. Like the Rattler thing, like last year, that didn't really. There were like these BS accounts, they make stuff up for engagement or whatever, and those are out there, and it's like, no, like that isn't happening. And then it was like a week later, like he starts to put together these like good practices, but that was like early August even for him. In minicamp, for there to be like momentum already, and then people in the building be like, man, this guy's like, you should have seen what he did today. You should have seen what he did. It's a little bit more encouraging than others. Does that mean he's going to be long-term starting quarterback? Does that mean he's going to? No, but like I think he has the best chance of like actually showing up and doing something year 1 as opposed to like anybody else.
What's crazy is it feels like a long time, but we've got 1 more week of OTAs this week, a 3-day minicamp next week, then they shut it down for 5 weeks, and then the first preseason game is 2 weeks into training camp or whatever. I mean, like, that's not enough time, I don't think, for either one to slam the book shut. I have a feeling we see one of them start the first preseason game, one of them start the second preseason game, and then it's probably decision time. But it would be really interesting if one of them, like by the end of the first preseason game, if we're sitting here having a conversation that one of them just has very clearly dominated the competition up until that point. But that would have to be done in 21 practices, basically.
Even like the last real battle, that was Taysom and Taysom and Jameis, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I actually even felt it was like a waste of time to give Taysom that second start. But that one, though, felt like it was a closer battle. It felt like he had been here for a ton of years, was the heir apparent for a while. Like, I understood it, but I even felt like that one was a waste of time because it was like Jameis was so convincing in the first one. It was like, this is done. Like, he should be the starting quarterback. So, like, and I remember there was like a lot of like residual resentment from that camp about how that continued to play on. And I actually understand it, but I see it from the other side. But I feel like if this dude is winning, like you just have to go with him. You drafted him 40th. Like everything you do is about his development at this point. It supersedes literally burn down everything if you feel like you have a quarterback that has a chance, and everything has to be about him. And I would respect it so much more. Like if they were just like, if he's killing it and we're 2 weeks into camp and it's just like, yeah, he's getting all the first team reps. So
to go back to the original question is, you invest everything in Shough if you see enough to know, that we got something special. Doesn't mean he's going to work out, but we've got something special enough that we should devote all our time and resources into honing it. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know exactly what that is and how an NFL team decides his ceiling is so much higher than Rattler's ceiling that our jobs depend on making this guy work.
They already decided that, though.
Yeah.
They drafted him at the 40th pick with the other guy in the building. They already decided that. They already decided the ceiling's so much higher. So I think it goes back to what you said at the beginning. Like, once you believe in it, just go. Yeah. Like, just go all the way, all in on it. All right. It is now June 2nd, which means that teams can process transactions that are fakely on hold, kind of.
Ryan Ramczyk retiring now. He's been on the 90-man roster
for a whole year.
For 2 years.
Season.
He's like,
season that, like, yeah.
We are going to go into our first practice Thursday where we don't have to circle Ryan Ramczyk's name while we're doing attendance with our 90-man rosters.
So they can process that now. They already announced it. They can process Derek Carr's retirement. They already announced it. So these transactions end. Both of them come off the books. There's like a $1.2 million cap charge that clears off. They have to replace them, so they get a couple $100,000 in cap space.
Yeah, less than $1 million in cap space.
So it's negligible on that front. Money gets pushed to the future, but you look back at Ramczyk's career. What's Ryan Ramczyk? What do you say about him? What's on the career eulogy for Ryan Ramczyk?
I mean, unfortunately, it's the shame. Like you've made the point many times. He was on a Hall of Fame track. When you get the All-Pro recognition that he was getting early in his career, you're going to get like 4 more All-Pros that you don't deserve late in your career. He's going to end up with 8 or 9 of them. And he's maybe going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he became the highest paid right tackle in NFL history when he got his contract extension. And he was a part of the greatest draft class in Saints history, and I know 2006 is in that conversation, but I think you got to give it to 2017, and a draft class that immediately had them be the best regular season team in the NFL from 2017 through 2020. And then I also think of him as part of that. Man, the entire team got hurt at the same time, and it ended way too quickly. Him and Mike Thomas and Teron Armstead to an extent. And so I think of how great things were from 2017 to 2020 and how much of a shame it is that they ended so quickly and unexpectedly.
You got 16 in the conversation with 17?
06.
06.
Did I say 16? I apologize if I did.
06. Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with Ramczyk. Ramczyk, huge if it wasn't for the Mike Thomas disappointment career story, like the Ryan Ramczyk disappointment career story would get a lot more. Like, it just gets eclipsed a little bit. Like, just the injuries, everything cut him down, the degenerative knee thing. Amazing career. It's just like, yeah, it could have ended up somewhere else. And then flipping it on Derek Carr, disappointment really is the only word that comes to mind. I think it's one of those things that you go through, and it's an invaluable learning experience. I think in general, huge opportunity lost. There is value from the failure that I think you look at and you learn from, and kind of guide you in the future and how you're going to construct your team or whatever. But that one just ends in, disappointment's the only word that I think you can.
Yeah, and disappointment from all sides. Like, Derek Carr chose the Saints over interest. I don't know if he had offers, but interest from the Jets and Panthers. And it made sense to all of us that he was looking at a pretty good veteran team, a chance to play in the worst division in the league, a chance to play all of his game indoors. I mean, everyone thought whether that marriage was worth the money or not, that it was going to lead to 1 or 2 NFC South titles. And you know, the injuries really tore this team apart, and he was a guy that was not good enough to like overcome them. We say all the time, you can win with him, but you don't win because of him. And the team became a team that wasn't ready made for success. It was a huge disappointment that this team wasn't what everyone expected when they decided to sign him, and now they've wasted a couple years in when they could have started rebuilding and the money and everything like that. I mean, it's really going to be reflected on. I mean, unfortunately, it ended up with conversations about, was that the worst free agent signing they ever made, because it didn't amount to anything. So
I think
it was a disappointment
right?
from everyone. Yeah,
it is, right?
I mean, probably for that reason. Yeah, I mean, if you're judging it on results, yes. If you're judging it on like go back, was it the wrong decision at the time? I understood why they made it. Jarvis Bird is in that conversation for the other reasons. But if you're basing it on results, yes, spending that much money
the weight of the setback,
on somebody that led to no playoff appearances, it's an easy answer.
The weight of the setback is just.
Yeah.
If you miss on a quarterback, the weight of that is so much greater than anything else. But Bird's on that list for sure. I mean, it's a 2-man race, right? I mean, and it's Carr's running off on it. Yeah. Browner's in there. But I mean, like, that wasn't a ton of money, but that was a huge disappointment too. His attitude sucked and everything, but like,
and obviously Carr's own injuries play a part. I mean, the guy had never missed a start, and then he ends up only starting 10 games last year. That his shoulder got hurt twice. He had concussions. So, Bird was obviously about injuries. Carr was about injuries too. I mean, look, that's a thing. I would love to press the reset button, and we're going to talk about Madden in a little bit. Like, I'd love to start over with that, and I think there could be 10-win seasons and playoff appearances, and it was probably worth it. But obviously, the result we saw was nowhere near worth it.
It's going to do it for the first half of the show. We'll be right back after this word from our great sponsors.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number 1 grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
The NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County Peach Whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. A delicious natural strawberry-infused 86-proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football, presented by PJ's Coffee. Our next topic is presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Make sure you go check them out. Grab their magazine. I got articles I write in that thing that only appear there, so make sure you check it out. Marcy Nathan does a great job of putting that thing together. It looks amazing, great content. Definitely pick it up if you're in the store. It's a good reason to even go there just to get it. All right, this one here, Saints Hype Index. We've seen 2 practices. We're going to overhype everything. We overhype everything as it goes, people say, but we can only evaluate the pieces we see. And when there's only 2 pieces to see, you talk about them because that's all there is to talk about. So as we sit here today, Saints Hype Index. Going to go through different position groups, just kind of quickly go through them. And we're going to go into 4 categories. The hype index, sky high, cautiously optimistic, wait and see, or is it flatlining?
Yeah.
Starting with the quarterbacks, maybe more hype than anything on these guys. Which of the 4 are you putting the quarterbacks into?
I'm not going to say sky high for any of these positions. Spoiler alert. But is it, can you get bonus points for just being more excited than we have been? I mean, for quarterbacks, I mean, I guess you could make a case for sky high if it's like we just talked about Derek Carr's retirement, and now we're talking about young quarterbacks, and everything good they do is exciting because it's different and it's new. So maybe that would make me say cautiously optimistic, but at the same time, we are talking about a team that is like ranking 31st or 32nd in everyone's power ratings because they think they have the worst quarterback situation in the NFL. So it's probably wait and see, but I'll go with cautiously optimistic just because I go out to practice excited to watch the quarterbacks and I'm excited to see growth and development. And there is the potential that they drafted a guy who could change the entire trajectory of the franchise by even being an Andy Dalton or Derek Carr level quarterback. If they got that with the 40th pick, it's the best thing that could ever happen to this team. So a long way of saying I'll go with category 3 out of 4, cautiously optimistic.
I'm gonna wait and see on those guys. You got to win a game. Someone has to win an NFL game. Me and Sue were talking about it yesterday. Like it's almost impossible to construct a quarterback room. And granted, Taysom's on the team, but he's not in the quarterback room where you don't have a quarterback win. It's almost impossible to do it. They don't have a single one between the 4 guys on their team. I got to wait and see if they can do it. I have a slightly different opinion on getting the Andy Dalton, Derek Carr thing. I feel like you get stuck in purgatory with that almost. Like
you probably do.
I almost want them. I want them to either be good or bad. Like I don't want to exist in the middle.
I would take Andy. I would take Andy Dalton level quarterback play just because not only do you get that, but you also now get to use your number 8 pick and 9 pick in the draft on Calvin Banks this year. You get to use your first round pick next year. You're not trading 3 first rounders to move up for a quarterback at any point. It just gives you the resources to hit everywhere else. That's why I'd take it. But of course you want better, of course.
My only thing here, like, and I maybe it's just too close to the last chalk line that we were just talking about. But the lesson I've learned from that is that, like, I want the boom or the bust with the quarterback, and I just want the dude to be able to be a difference maker. And I don't want a team built to where it's too good to ever have a shot at hope.
Yeah.
That's, like, it's weird. Like, and I don't know. It's probably just the proximity to the morgue, the autopsy.
I get it.
Kind of cutting through. But that's the Derek Carr lesson to me, is that, like, existing in the lower middle tier, like, sucks. Like,
the greatest cheat code in the league, though, is obviously, I mean, you can talk about Howie Roseman all you want, but the Eagles are the team on top of the NFL because they got to use the 50th pick.
But they boomed with the quarterback. So, like,
but that's what I'm saying. If you can use the 50th pick on Jalen Hurts or a third-round pick on Russell Wilson.
Jalen Hurts isn't Andy Dalton, though. Like,
yeah. No, I'm saying, like, so that's the absolute best case
but
scenario.
That's
but you don't want him to be just
Jalen Hurts is if you took him with the number 1 pick in the draft, you're happy with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want Tyler Shough to be Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like you get trapped there. Like, the Steelers, that sucks. Like, when you're not the Steelers and you're the Saints or you're the Jets, you look at the Steelers and you're like, man, I want to be that. But if you're the Steelers, like, it sucks being the Steelers because it's just Andy Dalton, and there's no way out. And now Aaron Rodgers, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Moving on to the next one, offensive line. For me, I'm cautiously optimistic about this group. Kind of got to see them hit a little bit, but I feel like they have the pieces there. I feel like it's going to be bad for them to actually be bad. I can't go sky high because, I think there's room for growth for Fuaga. I think there's room for growth for Banks, and got to see what Penning can be.
I'm also cautiously optimistic. Like I said, I'm not going to have sky high anywhere, but this is number 1 on my list. I mean, how can it not be? You have a 9th pick in this year's draft and a 14th pick in last year's draft. Kevin and I did a members-only pod a couple weeks ago where we ranked the assets that this team has, and they were 1 and 2. I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to turn out, but they sure better. And then not only that, but Eric McCoy might be the best player on the team, and he's in this group as well. So,
yeah, if you guarantee his health, like I might slide over one, but you can't at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But the talent is undeniable. Wide receivers, I think I'm cautiously optimistic on the back end of that. If that's the middle tier, I'm in the Andy Dalton tier of the cautiously optimistic one. But, like, I feel like there's some good players there, but got to see health, got to see Brandon Cooks show that he can be more than he was last year. Got to see, Shaheed just take that next step in his development and also stay in the field as well. So I think talent is through the roof at the top end with the top 2, but the big body receiver being missing, all of a sudden you got to prove it to me.
A year ago, I would have been close to sky high on this group because of Olave and Shaheed alone. I didn't even need the third person to feel that good when those are your 1 and 2. But then they've lost another year of their career timelines. You're going to have to pay Shaheed next year. You're probably going to have to pay Olave next year, and we've got injury questions about both guys. So cautiously optimistic, but man, if you could give me 17 games of health for both of those guys, they could be in the sky high category.
Going to tight ends, I'm wait and see with the weak pulse.
I'm going to go flatline here, and that's because you just had to pay significant money for Juwan Johnson. If Juwan Johnson was still like, we got a steal with an undrafted rookie and he's on this bargain contract, but they just paid like top 5 tight end money for a guy who has not shown us top 5 tight end production yet. So, man, I mean, maybe this is finally the coaching staff that makes it happen. I guess I should say wait and see because of Juwan Johnson's potential, but I'm damn near flatline, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like his chemistry with the quarterback too. Maybe that does something.
Yeah.
Maybe I was up on Foster a little bit. Like I feel like they like Jack Stoll. Like it's not a good group. I don't know if it's dead in the water yet though. Like if Juwan,
I guess I won't say flatline because there is still. But I mean, the guy with potential is already making the money, and he's almost 30 years old.
No, I don't like the contract at all. But like as far as production, you got a guy that can give you 600 yards. You have a guy that can block. Maybe Taysom's part of that group. Like it's weak. It's very weak. But I'll give him a chance. Like it's a weak pulse for me. But like we're in the same neighborhood.
If Taysom's in this group, even though we don't even know for sure 100% that he's going to play this year or how healthy he's going to be,
even Taysom independent. I'm still like I'm feeling the neck. Like are they getting on the stretcher? Yeah. I mean it's tough. It's tough. Are they going in the ambulance or are you calling the hearse? Like I don't know yet. Running backs. I'm definitely waiting to see on him. I mean Alvin's sky high. Like he is what he is. But like. As a group, definitely wait and see. I haven't seen anything from Devin Neal yet. Haven't seen anything from Kendrick Miller. Haven't seen anything from Yarn. Like it's a very, very much a wait and see group.
Kendrick Miller, man. Me and B were talking about it on Friday's show. If you just brought like some NFL scout or NFL fan out to practice and didn't tell them about anyone on the field, they'd be like, well, number 5's the best player on the team, right? But you got to be wait and see because of what we've seen.
He looks like he's an unbelievable looking athlete, no question about it. D-line, I'm waiting to see on that one too.
Yep, wait and see. Same thing I just said about Kendrick Miller, I'll say about Chase Young. I fall for it every time I see that guy in the practice field. He's healthy this year. He didn't have OTAs and minicamp last year. This year he has OTAs and minicamp, and he was here for the whole off-season program. Please let him be a thing for the sake of this team. Brian Brzee is another guy who potentially has another level to climb to. Otherwise, it's a lot of guys, but not a lot of guys with their arrow pointing up necessarily.
I'm cautiously optimistic about the linebackers. I think I still think DeMario has a lot to offer. Pete Werner played okay last year. I like Stutzman's potential. I'm still kind of excited to find out about Jalen Ford, even though I have no idea what he is at this point. But as far as linebackers go, most teams don't have good ones. They got 2 good ones, a maybe, and a theory on Ford. So I feel cautiously optimistic about that group as well.
I would be cautiously optimistic if we were just talking about the 2025 season. DeMario and Pete, that's about as good as you can do in the NFL.
That's a basket
but since I am more about like what does this team have to build on, the fact that DeMario's clock is ticking makes me a little bit more wait and see because they're gonna need another answer at that position very soon. But yeah, I'll go ahead and go cautiously optimistic because he's a stud.
DBs I'm kind of nervous about, but I'm wait and see on the group as a whole. That other cornerback position after Kool-Aid and Alante, a little bit undefined. I like the safeties, Reed and Tyron, so that lifts the group up a little bit. But I'm a little bit nervous about just the overall depth of the cornerback group. Got to see what Quincy Riley can do. He hasn't been out on the field yet, so I think very much wait and see. That could slide over to cautiously optimistic if they have that other outside guy. I think Alante, if they can, the more they can play him in the slot, the better they're going to be as a team.
I think they will. Yeah.
So I'm wait and see on that group.
I'm kind of torn between wait and see and cautiously optimistic. I'm going to rank them a little higher than what I just said about the linebackers, though, because they do have 2025 guys in Tyrann Mathieu, Justin Reed. But I like that this position has young guys who like, this is one of the few positions where like, man, if Kool-Aid hits, if Alante hits, if Justin Reed hits, these guys could be a part of the next 3 years.
Which group do you think has the highest flatline potential?
Flatline? Well, I said tight ends is the only one I almost called flatline. And I guess defensive line. I mean, if Chase Young and Brian Brzee don't take the next level, that is a wildly disappointing group, I think.
I think the QBs have the highest flat line.
Oh, fair.
I think that's the one.
Fair,
I think that's the one
fair,
where it's
fair.
very possible that it teeters toward that way. Like the range of options there, I think are the widest on all of them. But yeah, I'm with you. D-line, tight ends,
Receiver. If Chris Olave gets hurt again for any reason, like all of a sudden that's maybe the worst receiver room in the league.
DBs definitely has a chance. Running backs has a chance.
There's flatline potential across the board.
Yeah,
hopefully not offensive line though.
Going to be an interesting season to kind of see how some of that stuff plays out. Our next topic is presented by Bobby Aber's Cajun Cannon Restaurant up here on Vets. Make sure you go check them out. They got great food, great atmosphere. Always a good time over there. Check out some of their Philadelphia-inspired dishes. They're really good. Some really good food over there overall. So make sure you check them out. All right. Madden ratings are going to be coming out probably next month, usually about July. We just saw the cover drop today with Saquon on it. Most iconic play from last season, probably when he hurdled. That guy, just an amazing play.
How did his season turn out? I don't remember. Did things work out for him?
Things worked out for him, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
they did.
Good
they
he
did.
got the cover then.
He did, yeah. Probably earned that one. But going through a couple guys here, I'm kind of curious about where you feel like their rating would end up. We'll start at the top with Chris Olave.
He's probably gonna be a prove it and show me player. I think there's gonna be a lot of disrespect in the Saints Madden ratings this year. So I had him as 87 in the most current rating. I don't know when he got his 87, but I bet it takes a little dip from there. I bet we're looking at an 85, 84 player. But he can climb his way back up to 90 if he has a season he's been flirting with for the last 2-3 years.
I think it's going to hold steady. I don't think he gets knocked. Yeah, okay. I don't think talent's an issue with him.
No, talent's not an issue.
Yeah, I don't think they'll knock him for it. I mean, injuries are obviously a thing. Like his injury variability, like that number might go up or something. But I think he probably holds steady there. I'd probably put him a little bit higher than that.
They bumped
but like
Kamara to an 85 last year. I mean, like the Saints are. Don't click on any national websites or national podcasts at all if you want to hear anything good about the Saints right now.
I know they got high-ranking people there that are very tuned in with the Saints, so I don't think they're going to get it. I don't think they'll get this one wrong. I think they'll be good on it. What about Alvin? Where are you at on him?
I mean, I would have flip-flopped. I would have thought Alvin was more of a 89 type of guy. I was surprised to see he was an 85 last year. Maybe they give him a fresh start going into the year. I'll give Alvin the 87.
Yeah, I bump Alvin up a little bit. He had a good season last year. I think that'll be reflected in it. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Where you at on Shaheed? They didn't like him. They had
bumped
him
him down to 79 last year, and he came in with hype. So 79. I think he should be a little higher than that, though.
I gotta
tad higher.
So it's like pricing where it's like $9.99 versus $10.
Yeah.
Like I gotta get him at the 80s. Like I'm gonna put him at a flat 80.
Do you get kick return credit? He could be the best kick returner in the game, right?
The 79 feels disrespectful.
It
An
does.
80 feels like.
Well,
okay.
Wait. Let's have a 79 conversation real quick, because the 79 is. So I was learning about Madden ratings, and like 79 is a tier. Like we just threw a bunch of guys at 79. They didn't deserve 80. Cam Jordan fell to 79. Chase Young, Cesar Ruiz, Rashid Shaheed, and then Pete Werner and Fuaga were both at 78. Anyone I just mentioned deserve 80 level? You think Shaheed the most out of all of them?
Shaheed and Fuaga are the ones that I would probably.
Now that it's year 2, Fuaga probably gets that bump up to 80.
I think Fuaga's probably got to earn it. Like Shaheed's the one. I put Shaheed above all them guys.
Okay.
Do you? How about you?
I would probably put Shaheed ahead of all those guys. I'm surprised Werner had to go down to 78. I'd put him in that 79 group. And look, I just have this irrational belief that Chase Young should be an 80 instead of a 79. I keep thinking Chase Young's going to happen. He has the most potential for growth in that group, I'll say.
I feel like we were like tearing them out. Like Shaheed sits there, and then there's guys
okay,
like
that's fair.
When we do the top 25 or whatever, I'm putting.
You're going to be.
Who were the guys you just said?
Cam Jordan, Chase Young, Cesar Ruiz, Rashid Shaheed, Pete Werner, Tali Fuaga.
Fuaga gets interesting, like if you're ranking them, but like if we're just going off of pure production, what we've seen, I'm putting Shaheed above.
That's fair.
Above all of them.
I'll rank Shaheed above when we do our off-season top list. I will rank Shaheed the highest of that group as well.
Yeah, and I'll probably put Fuaga right under him. We'll say if he has a good season, he has the potential to be top 5. No question about it. Yeah. Who is next?
One other. Well, 2 other guys below that line. Brian Brzee was all the way down at 75. That kind of surprised me. That's a little lack of respect for a first-round pick. And Juwan Johnson, we talked about early in the short, 74. So those are other guys who should have a chance to move their ranking up too. But you can go back to the bigger names.
PFF hates Brzee too. I mean, people just don't. I don't know. People aren't up on him right now.
The sack totals are high, and he's a first-round pick. So I'm surprised he was that low. But
yeah, I agree.
There's a lot to prove this year.
Juwan Johnson, where you got him?
I was surprised to see that 74. I mean, the contract alone shows what his value was in league circles. So I think Juwan Johnson shows up at a 78.
Interesting. The headline. Well, let's do this one, and then we'll go to the headliners. Do they have a defensive end that you think will be above 80? We're talking about that 79 line.
I bet Cam shows up at 80 outers. Oh, Granderson was an 80, by the way. I didn't mention him before. I bet Granderson and Cam both start at 80.
It better be Grando and Chase. Better be the 2 highest rated ones. Like if they're doing it like
I know. Look, I don't know their thought process. I don't know if guys like Cam Jordan get this respect. If they've already moved Cam to 79, I don't know what's going to move it up. So I guess I should say that. Yeah. But look, Granderson was an 80. The other 2 guys were a 79 last year. I see no reason for them to have changed their pecking order.
That's interesting. I would probably go Chase, Grando, Cam if I had to rank them out. I think,
especially if you're doing some sort of prediction and you want to look smart and you want to look right, then I would like if it's what have they earned or is it how's this season going to play out for them?
Yeah, if it's what are they on June 2nd, 2025? To me, it's Chase, Grando, and then Cam. Just my own list. Going to the headliners. Where you got Rattler? These are almost unfair.
Yeah.
But like, let's just say, who do you think they start out with a higher rating?
Out of Rattler and Shough?
Yeah.
I bet they cop out and give them the same rating. I bet they both come in at, I don't even know. Derek Carr was like a 76 or something last year. I don't know how low they go for quarterbacks. I bet they both show up with a 75.
Yeah, I mean, like they just kind of like throw numbers on some rookies.
Yeah.
And Rattler still kind of feels like a rookie.
Would you rather be the 40th pick with no stats or Spencer Rattler with that 0-6 record that is a little misleading?
Going into the Madden ratings or like real life?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, like, what's a better resume? Like what Rattler did in his 6 games or not having shown anything at all?
I think the 40th pick. I think the 40th pick gets a higher rating. Yeah, because like it's a 5th round pick who didn't win any games. 75,
Rattler 74. Maybe
would they have Rattler at? Do you know?
You know what? I didn't look him up. It was below 74, obviously, because that's when I stopped scrolling down.
Interesting. I think Shough will have the higher rating though. I think Shough will start out with the higher rating.
That makes sense.
And it'll probably be like a point apart or something like that.
That makes sense.
You can kind of talk yourself into it, if you're them. So yeah, I think that's probably how it'll go.
And then the 3 highest rated guys that we haven't talked about yet. Tyron got an 85, which was the same as Kamara.
Ooh, they had Rattler at 68.
68. But I wonder, I don't know.
They had Bub Means at 70.
How often do they update those though?
Like every week, right? It's like every week.
For a guy like that, do they just leave him alone? Like Rattler, I would have thought would have gotten some play once he started starting.
These
games.
Are like dynamic. I think they even like update them into like the offseason. Yeah.
All right. So maybe Shough is a 70 and Rattler is a 69 or something like that. I don't know how low they'll go. Yeah.
I don't even know if it's like a big reveal anymore because it's kind of like a dynamic thing. It's just kind of who are the 99 guys is like in the rookies are kind of the big thing when they do it. Am I wrong?
That seems right. I mean, that seems fair. I mean, you got to be fair league wide. You got to set a standard. You can't predict this guy's going to start 17 games and we're going to look foolish. Like, that's where they're starting, 68, 69, 70-ish. Yeah. What I was going to say is Tyron was 85, which surprised me a little bit. Same as Kamara. I bet they both start out at, I mean, I guess we predict they stay where they are then, right? But I'm surprised those guys aren't 87 guys. The highest guy on their list was DeMario at 90, and the second highest guy was McCoy at 89. Seem fair? I wonder if DeMario bumps down to 89.
Yeah, I got no beef with that. I don't think
DeMario's he was tied for 71st. There were 70 guys above him, and he got a 90, and there were a bunch of guys at 90. So that's still like I don't think DeMario's gonna be on those top 100 NFL player lists that come out like NFL Network and ESPN. He's probably right on the verge of it. So he's probably like
they're out of sight, out of mind too. You know, when you're a guy like in that range and your team sucks, you don't get the votes.
You really do.
Yeah,
you really do. But 90 seems fair for him. McCoy would probably be a 90 if he'd stayed healthy all last season. Olave would probably be a 90 if he'd stayed healthy all last season. Kamara would be flirting with 90 if he'd stayed healthy all season. So they got their top 4 guys are the right top 4 guys, I think.
Who were they?
DeMario at 90, McCoy at 89, Olave 87, and then Kamara and Tyron tied with 85.
Is Justin Reed the best player on the team?
Ooh, I didn't look up Justin Reed's rating. No, I don't think so. I wouldn't put him ahead of those 5 guys.
He might be. He's in the conversation. When we do the top rating, I think he's a top 5 guy.
Interesting. Ahead of all the defensive ends, Justin Reed?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. I look forward to doing that next month.
Yeah. B, where you got him? Yeah. Top 4? Joe, where you got him? Top 5?
Let me see here. He just said that. Everybody in the room says what Nick likes.
I mean,
to
I
hear.
probably
88 was his rating. So there you go. You're right. 3rd.
He's young.
Figuring in like health and availability and everything, he might be like 2. I don't know. I think Olave is more talented, but I don't think I could put Olave at 2nd given the game's miss. I don't know. We're gonna see when we do it.
That'll be an interesting.
It's gonna be a hard 20.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
No, you know what? I don't think it'll be hard to come up with 20 guys because we'll put JT Gray in there, whatever.
Yeah.
What's going to be really hard is who deserves to be 4th, who deserves to be 6th.
No,
like they have guys that like they're 1 and 2. I wish were 4 and 5, and they're 6, 7, and 8. I wish were 14, 15, and 16. That everyone's going to be bumped up higher than that. Deciding who belongs in the top 10 will be tough.
Do we do 20 or 25?
We've done 21 the last
We'll do
couple
21.
years.
We're doing 21. Yeah, because I feel like there's like a groupie Jawan cutoff line, and then like you're in the like Trevor Penning and all those guys. Like I think there is like a hard line of demarcation, but yeah,
Trevor Penning's not going to make my top 21. I'm telling you right now.
But he's probably like the 23rd, 24th guy, probably somewhere in there, and it's just kind of. There is like a hard line, I think. But then it's like this guy I got at 15, is he better than the guy I got at 20? I don't know. I really got to sit down.
Where do you rank Taysom on a list like that? Oh, my gosh.
I think I'd probably throw Taysom at like 20th just because of the availability or whatever.
I know. It becomes
availability,
very tough.
I'll like a spoiler. Tough. Like availability is going to play a huge part in my list this year. But just because it was so snake bitten last year. Like guys that stay on the field now, like it's just you actually.
Yeah. So Justin Reed gets a lot of bonus points for that, for sure. I like that Justin Reed is a 25-year-old guy in his prime compared to other guys who are, like how do you rank Justin Reed versus DeMario Davis it's always a very tough conversation.
Yeah, DeMario, I think like he has the talent and the ability and the on-fieldness that like he's definitely somewhere in that top 5.
Yeah.
But then it gets Alvin, and then it gets tricky.
Yeah,
like
it does.
Like McCoy, talent is very much there, but then it's like he's missed like 7 games a season. Like so that kind of that has to weigh in. I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Like Justin Reed makes it interesting.
I haven't penciled mine in yet, so it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Justin Reed's fascinating because like he's on the field, and he's talented, and it's just kind of I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I think he's definitely in my top 5, 6 somewhere in there for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, like my gut tells me, because I've always done this, I'm probably going to wind up ranking Alvin and DeMario ahead of Justin Reed, and maybe even Tyron ahead of Justin Reed, because I do give a little credit for like you've proven it for multiple years, and I don't know that there's been a changing of the guard yet, but that's where the conversation's going to be taking place in my head anyway, at that level.
All right, well, we're teasing that. We're going to get into it after minicamp. We'll have the top 21. We said 21, top 21 countdown.
That'll probably come in early July, maybe around July 1st, somewhere around there.
We're going to hit a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the question of the day right after this.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
You ever take a bite of something and immediately think, yeah, I'm coming back for this? Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant just added some new dishes, and man, they crushed it. The shrimp and crawfish pistolets, golden and stuffed with bold Cajun flavor. Fried oyster tacos, crispy, fresh with the perfect kick. And the soft shell crab Alfredo, creamy, rich, and absolutely worth the order. They're open 7 days a week, and they deliver late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com.
Here at the Queen Casino, indulgence knows no bounds. Prepare your taste buds for an extraordinary culinary journey. Start your day at Capital Coffee. Craving something different? 3 Walks Noodle Bar offers a tantalizing selection of Asian delights. At 1717 Kitchen and Cocktails, savor American cuisine with a twist. Or ascend to the loft for an elevated experience. Enjoy artesian grazing boards and exquisite craft cocktails. Join us at the Queen Casino. Your royal adventure awaits.
Welcome back to the show. If you are not yet signed up to NewOrleans.Football, make sure you do that. There are exclusive podcasts, exclusive streams, exclusive articles, all kinds of stuff you are not getting on the YouTube or your standard podcast channel. Make sure you check it out. We're offering a vertical video version of the podcast now for members. So if you don't like turning your phone, like I don't like turning my phone, and you just want to hold that thing natural, sign up to the site, you get that. Just a lot of little perks, a lot of little things that'll make your Saints viewing and following experience better. So make sure you go check that out. NOF, save 20% on your first payment with that code. All right, it is now time for the Get Gordon question of the day, presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you end up in a wreck on the road, Gordon is the guy that's going to get you right. He is the man. He's in tune with everything. Big LSU guy. Make sure you check out Gordon if you make it your next call after 911. All right. Our question of the day today is, now that it's June 1st, who and when do we expect a free agent to get picked up? This is from my guy, Ed NOF, who is a member of NewOrleans.Football.
Well, just to make it clear, there's not a huge significance with June 1st as it comes to free agency. The Saints now have 2 roster spots available because of Derek Carr and Ryan Ramczyk's retirement, so maybe they've been waiting for that reason. As we said, it frees up less than $1 million in cap space, so that's not the reason. It's not part of the compensatory pick formula. That ended a month ago, the Monday after the draft. So I don't think this was a magic date they've been waiting for, except for maybe the roster spots. They could have cleared one of those out. They did bring in Jonathan Bullard for a visit, another interior defensive end, where I think they got a ton of guys already. We're waiting on Asante Samuel, who visited with them. I think July 1st is when he expects to sign with the team. There's still those same names out there, Keenan Allen, other corners if they don't wind up with Samuel. But I don't know that automatically I expect it to happen today. Maybe we'll see some auditions during veteran minicamp, which is next week. Yeah.
Those are probably the guys that I would have an eye on, is the ones you kind of mentioned. Maybe a couple vets get cut because teams are holding on to them because of like the cap thing or whatever.
Sign them now, the guys that get cut.
Yeah, but like we'll see. I think you kind of covered the spectrum there and got all the guys that could be available. That's gonna do it for this show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.